The ship drifted silently through the black, empty space. Inside, Zelia sat in the pilot's chair, her blue skin pale and her body thin. She had not eaten in 6 days. The ship's food was gone. The air was getting bad. And her baby, little Lyra, cried with hunger that Zelia could not stop. Zelia was the last of her scout team. The others had died when the Morden ships attacked their home world. Her people, the Verixi, were losing the war. Soon they might all be gone. Zelia looked at the star map. The nearest planet that might have food was too far. Her ship was damaged. The engine was failing. The life support system blinked red on her control panel. She knew what that meant. In 2 days, maybe less, there would be no air to breathe. She looked down at baby Lyra, sleeping now after crying for hours. Lyra's small chest moved up and down. Her skin, normally bright blue like all Verixi, was pale. Zelia touched her daughter's face with 3 long fingers. Tears fell from Zelia's large purple eyes. "I cannot save us both," she whispered in her native tongue. With shaking hands, Zelia opened a storage compartment beneath the floor. Inside was an escape pod, small like a coffin. It was meant for one person. Zelia had avoided looking at it for days, but now she had no choice. She lifted Lyra carefully and placed her in the pod. The baby did not wake. Zelia connected the stasis system that would keep Lyra asleep, barely alive, using very little air. She programmed the pod's small computer. It would fly toward the nearest star with planets. Maybe someone kind would find her daughter. Maybe Lyra would live even if Zelia could not. "Be brave, my star child," Zelia said, touching her forehead to Lyra's in the traditional Verixi blessing. "May you find better stars than I did." Zelia closed the pod and pushed the launch button. Through the ship's window, she watched the small pod shoot away into the darkness. It was done. Her baby was gone. Zelia fell to her knees and made the sounds of deep Verixi grief, a high wailing that filled the empty ship. With Lyra gone, Zelia had one last task. She would not die slowly of hunger or lack of air. She would take as many Morden soldiers with her as she could. She set her ship on a course toward where she had last seen a Morden patrol. She would crash into them at full speed. It would be a good death, a warrior's death. But before her ship could reach its target, something strange happened. The sensors beeped. Another ship was coming. Not Morden design. Something Zelia had never seen before. The unknown ship came closer. It was small, about the size of Zelia's scout vessel. The markings on its side were unfamiliar. A voice came through the communication system, speaking words Zelia did not understand. The ship moved alongside Zelia's craft. Metal clanged against metal as the unknown vessel connected to her airlock. Zelia grabbed her blade, the ceremonial weapon all Verixi warriors carried. If these were enemies, she would die fighting. The airlock opened. A figure stepped through. Zelia raised her blade, then stopped in surprise. The being before her stood on 2 legs like a Verixi, but its skin was a light brown color. It had hair on its head, dark and tied back. Its face was different from any species Zelia had seen in the star maps. The stranger held up empty hands, showing it carried no weapons. It spoke again. The sounds meant nothing to Zelia. "Who are you?" Zelia asked in her language. "What do you want?" The stranger took out a small device and spoke into it. After a moment, the device made sounds in a rough version of Zelia's language. "I am Lieutenant Olivia Martinez of Earth Frontier Corps. Your ship appears damaged. Do you need help?" Zelia had never heard of Earth or its people. But the stranger Olivia did not look like an enemy. Still, Zelia kept her blade ready. "My ship is dying. I am dying. Why do you care?" Zelia asked. The translation device spoke, and Olivia listened. Then she replied, and the device translated again. "It is our way to help those in need. Will you come to my ship? We have food, medicine." Zelia looked at the stranger with suspicion. In her experience, no one helped without wanting something in return. But she had nothing left to lose. Her baby was gone. Her death mission was her only plan. "Food?" Zelia asked, her hunger suddenly overwhelming her pride. Olivia nodded and made a gesture toward her ship. "Yes, food safety, come." Zelia hesitated, then lowered her blade. As she stepped toward the airlock, her legs gave way. She had not stood in days, and her body was weak from hunger. She fell forward. Olivia moved quickly, catching Zelia before she hit the floor. The human was stronger than she looked. Zelia felt herself being lifted and carried through the airlock into the Earth ship. Inside, the air smelled different. The lights were brighter. Olivia placed Zelia on a soft surface and spoke to someone through a device on her wrist. Soon another human appeared, this one with lighter skin and hair the color of Virixi blood. They gave Zelia water in a cup. It tasted strange but good. Then something to eat, a soft bar that smelled sweet. Zelia ate slowly, knowing that eating too fast after starving could kill her. As strength returned to her body, fear and grief took its place. "My baby," she said suddenly, trying to stand. "My daughter. I sent her away in a pod. She will die alone." The translation device spoke her words. Olivia's face changed, showing what Zelia thought might be concern. "A child? Where? When?" Olivia asked through the translator. Zelia pointed to the viewport toward the stars. "That way. Not long ago. Small escape pod. She is in stasis, but it will not last long." Olivia spoke quickly to the other human in their language. They seemed to argue. Then Olivia turned back to Zelia. "We will look for her. Rest now." Zelia wanted to believe these strange aliens, but hope was dangerous. She had sent Lyra away to die with dignity, not to be saved. To think otherwise would break her heart twice. Still, as Zelia lay on the soft bed in the human ship, watching Olivia work at the control panels, she felt something she had not felt in many cycles. Hope. Small and fragile, but there. The human ship turned and moved through space, its sensors scanning for a tiny pod carrying precious cargo. And Zelia, last warrior of her scout team, closed her eyes and did something she had not done since she was a child. She prayed. Zelia woke with a start. She was on the human ship called the Wanderer. For a moment she forgot where she was. Then she remembered. The hunger, the dying ship, sending baby Lyra away in the escape pod. And then the human Olivia finding her. Panic filled Zelia's chest. She jumped up from the bed where she had been sleeping. Her body felt stronger after food and rest. She saw Olivia at the front of the ship, working at the control panel. Without thinking, Zelia rushed at her. She grabbed Olivia by the throat with her 3-fingered hand. "Where is my baby?" Zelia screamed in her language. "What have you done?" Olivia did not fight back.
She held up her hands to show she meant no harm.
She pointed to a small device on the panel. The translator. Zelia let go. Olivia picked up the translator and spoke into it. "We are looking for your child," the machine said in Zelia's language. "I promised we would look." Olivia pointed to a screen on the panel. It showed stars and planets. A red line moved across the map. "This is where we think the pod went," Olivia explained through the translator. "We have been following this path for 6 hours while you slept." Zelia's anger turned to shame. "I am sorry," she said. "I thought, my people have been betrayed many times," Olivia nodded. Her face showed she understood. She touched her throat where Zelia had grabbed her, but she did not seem angry. "My captain does not know we are looking for your baby," Olivia said through the translator. "I was ordered to bring you to Earth Station 7 for medical help. But I could not leave a child to die." Zelia felt confused. Why would this human risk trouble to save a Virixi baby? The Virixi had no alliance with Earth. They had never even met humans before. Why help us? Zelia asked. Olivia thought for a moment before answering. "Because it is right," the translator said simply. A beeping sound came from the control panel. Olivia turned quickly to look at it. Her face lit up. She pointed to a blinking dot on the screen. "We found something," she said. "Small metal object. The size of an escape pod." Hope and fear mixed in Zelia's heart. She moved closer to the screen. "How far?" 2 hours at top speed," Olivia answered. She pushed buttons on the panel. The ship hummed as it went faster, but then another alarm sounded. This one was loud and harsh. Red lights flashed in the cabin. Olivia's face went pale as she looked at another screen. The translator spoke. "Morden ship entering this sector. Large destroyer class." Zelia felt cold fear grip her body. The Mordens were the ones who had destroyed her people, killed her family, forced her to flee until she ran out of food and hope. If they found her, they would kill her. "And Lyra." "They want my baby," Zelia said, her voice shaking. "Why would they want a child?" Olivia asked. Zelia hesitated. She had not told the human the full truth. But now she had no choice. "My daughter is special," Zelia said. "She was born with the old gift. The sensing of energy fields. The ability to touch the threads of space itself. It is very rare among our people now. The Mordans. They would use her to make weapons. Terrible weapons that could tear space apart." Olivia's eyes widened as the translator spoke these words. She looked at the screen showing the Morden ship, then at the blinking dot that might be Lyra's pod. "We cannot outrun a destroyer," Olivia said. "But we might hide." She changed the ship's course. The Wanderer flew toward a large planet surrounded by rings of rock and ice. The gas giant's swirling storms were visible even from far away. "The rings will hide us from their sensors," Olivia explained. "We can reach the pod before they find us." As they flew closer to the giant planet, Zelia looked out the viewport. The rings were beautiful, chunks of ice and rock spinning in a perfect circle around the planet. But they were also dangerous. If the ship hit even a small piece at this speed, it could cause serious damage. Olivia slowed the Wanderer as they entered the rings. She flew carefully, dodging the larger rocks. The ship shook sometimes when tiny pieces hit the hull. "How much farther to the pod?" Zelia asked. Olivia pointed to the screen. "Close now. Maybe 10 minutes." They moved deeper into the rings. The rocks and ice outside made patterns of light and shadow inside the ship. Then Olivia pointed excitedly. "There!" Through the viewport, Zelia saw something that wasn't rock or ice, a small metal object tumbling slowly end over end. Her heart jumped. It was an escape pod, her escape pod, the one holding baby Lyra. Olivia maneuvered the Wanderer closer. She pressed buttons on the panel, and a mechanical arm extended from the side of the ship. Slowly, carefully, she used the arm to catch the pod. "Got it," she said with a smile. But at that moment, a bright light flashed outside. A beam of energy cut through the rings, vaporizing ice and rock. The Wanderer shook violently. "They found us," Olivia said. Her voice was calm, but her eyes showed fear. On the screen, the Morden destroyer moved toward them, firing its weapons into the rings, clearing a path. They had only minutes before the larger ship would reach them. "Can we run?" Zelia asked. Olivia shook her head. "Not with their weapons locked on us. But we can bring the pod in first." She worked the controls. The mechanical arm pulled the escape pod toward an opening in the side of the Wanderer. Metal scraped against metal as the pod was brought inside. Zelia ran to the airlock where the pod would come in. Her heart pounded. Would Lyra still be alive? The stasis system in the pod was basic. It might have failed. The inner door opened. The pod lay on the floor, its surface covered with frost from the cold of space. Zelia fell to her knees beside it and pressed the release button. The pod's lid hissed open. Cold mist poured out, and there, wrapped in a thin blanket, lay baby Lyra. Her blue skin was very pale, almost white. Her eyes were closed. Celia reached in with trembling hands and lifted her daughter out. Lyra felt cold, too cold. She did not move. Zelia held her close, trying to warm her with her own body heat. "Lyra," she whispered. "My star child, please wake up." Olivia came running from the control room. "We need to go now," she said. The Mordens, she stopped when she saw Zelia holding the baby. Without a word, she knelt down and touched Lyra's small face. She put her ear to the baby's chest, listening. "She's alive," Olivia said, "but very weak. We need to warm her and get her heart rate up." The ship shook again as another energy beam passed close by. Alarms were blaring now. "Go," Zelia said to Olivia. "Fly the ship. I will care for her." Olivia nodded and ran back to the control room. The Wanderer lurched forward, speeding through the rings of the gas giant. On the screen, Zelia could see the Mordan destroyer following them, firing its weapons. Zelia carried Lyra to the small medical area of the ship. There was a warming blanket there. She wrapped Lyra in it and held her close, rocking gently as the ship twisted and turned, trying to escape. "Live, my child," Zelia whispered. "Please live." A strong jolt shook the ship. Zelia heard Olivia cry out. Something had hit them, a weapon or a large rock from the rings. The lights flickered. Zelia held Lyra tighter. After everything, the hunger, the despair, sending her child away to die with dignity, they might still die together after all. But at least they would be together. Then a small miracle. Lyra's eyelids fluttered. Her tiny hand moved. Her chest rose and fell more strongly. The warming blanket was working. She was coming back. "Olivia!" Zelia called out. "She's waking up!" But there was no answer from the control room. Just the sound of alarms and the groaning of the ship's hull under stress. Holding Lyra securely, Zelia went to the control room. Olivia was there, blood running down her face from a cut on her forehead. Part of the control panel was sparking. Through the viewport, Zelia could see the Morden destroyer getting closer. "Engine hit," Olivia said, her voice strained. "We can't outrun them now." Zelia looked down at Lyra, now moving in her arms, making small sounds. Then she looked at Olivia, the human who had risked everything to save them. "Then we fight," Zelia said. The Artemis moved through space at top speed. Inside the ship, Zelia sat beside the medical bed where Lyra slept. The baby's color had improved. Her blue skin was brighter now, and her breathing was steady. Olivia entered the medical room with a tray of food. "Thought you might be hungry," she said. Zelia took the tray gratefully. The food was strange, not like Virixi food, but she was too hungry to care. As she ate, Olivia sat down beside her. "Commander Ellis is contacting Earth Command," Olivia said. "She's explaining the situation. Will your leaders help us?" Zelia asked. Olivia sighed. "I don't know. Earth has stayed out of the Virixi-Morden War for years. We trade with both sides. Getting involved now would be a big change." Before Zelia could respond, alarms began to sound throughout the ship. Red lights flashed in the medical room. Olivia jumped to her feet. "Stay here," she told Zelia, then ran out the door. Zelia picked up Lyra from the medical bed and held her close. The baby woke and made soft sounds, not crying but alert. Zelia could feel her daughter's mind touching hers, a gentle brush of consciousness that was the mark of Lyra's gift. The ship lurched suddenly to one side. Zelia braced herself against the wall to avoid falling. Something was wrong. Were they under attack? The door opened and Olivia rushed back in. Her face was tight with worry. "More Morden ships," she said quickly. "A whole fleet. They must have been waiting for us." Fear gripped Zelia's heart. "How did they find us so quickly?" "I don't know, but Commander Ellis thinks they're tracking us somehow." Olivia looked at Lyra. "Maybe they're tracking her gift, like you said before." Zelia held Lyra tighter. "What will your commander do?" "She's trying to contact Earth Command for instructions. But the Mordens are jamming our long-range communications." Olivia hesitated. "Ellis is considering surrendering you to them." The words hit Zelia like a physical blow. "No. They will take Lyra and use her to make terrible weapons. They will kill me." Olivia put a hand on Zelia's arm. "I know. I'm trying to convince Ellis there's another way. But she has the whole crew to think about. The Mordan fleet could destroy us easily." The ship shook again as something hit it. The lights flickered. "That was a warning shot," Olivia said. "They want us to know they could destroy us if they wanted to." The door opened again. Commander Ellis entered, her face grim. "The Mordens are hailing us. They're demanding we hand over the Virixi and her child. They say they'll destroy us if we refuse." "You cannot give them to the Mordens," Olivia argued. "You know what they'll do." Ellis looked at Zelia and Lyra. Her eyes were hard, but Zelia could see conflict in them. "I have a duty to my crew." "And a duty to what's right," Olivia said. "The Mordens are committing genocide against the Virixi. If we help them, we're part of it." Ellis was silent for a long moment. Then she looked at Zelia. "Is there any way to hide your child's gift? To stop them from tracking you?" Zelia thought hard. Among her people, there were old stories of how gifted ones could shield their abilities, but it took training, years of practice. Lyra was just a baby. "There might be a way," Zelia said slowly. "In the old stories, gifted ones could join minds with others to hide their presence. But I am not gifted. I cannot help her. Could I help?" Olivia asked. "I mean, I'm not gifted either, but if it's just about sharing mental space or something." Zelia looked at the human with surprise. "You would do this? Join minds with my daughter? It is dangerous. If her gift touches your mind directly, it could hurt you." "I'm willing to try," Olivia said firmly, "if it could save all of us." Commander Ellis watched this exchange with a frown. "What exactly are you proposing?" "A mind link," Zelia explained. "A temporary joining of consciousness. If it works, it might mask Lyra's gift from the Morden sensors. But it has risks." "What kind of risks?" Ellis asked. "Pain, confusion, maybe worse." Zelia looked at Olivia. "Are you sure?" Olivia nodded. "Tell me what to do." Zelia instructed Olivia to sit on the floor. Zelia sat across from her, placing Lyra between them. The baby looked up at both of them with her large purple eyes. "Close your eyes," Zelia told Olivia. "Try to clear your mind. I will guide Lyra's gift toward you." Olivia closed her eyes. Zelia placed one hand on Lyra's head and reached out with her other hand. After a moment's hesitation, Olivia took it. "Now we wait," Zelia said. "Lyra must reach out on her own." The minutes passed. The ship continued to shake occasionally as the Morden fleet fired warning shots. Commander Ellis stood by the door watching. "Nothing's happening," Olivia said, her eyes still closed. Be patient, Zelia told her. Lyra is young. Her gift is new to her. Suddenly, Olivia gasped. Her hand tightened around Zelia's. Her body went rigid. What's happening? Ellis demanded, stepping forward. The link is forming, Zelia said. Do not interfere. Olivia's face showed pain, then wonder, then fear, all in quick succession. Lyra made a cooing sound, her tiny hands reaching up toward Olivia's face. I can feel her, Olivia whispered. In my mind, it's beautiful and terrifying. Celia could feel it too, though only as an echo. Lyra's gift was creating a bridge between the human's mind and her own. It was working. The ship's communication system suddenly came to life. A voice spoke through it. Commander Ellis's second-in-command. Commander, the Morden ships are changing formation. They seem confused. Ellis moved quickly to the wall communicator. Explain. They were in attack formation, but now they're spreading out, scanning the sector. It's like they lost track of us. Hope rose in Zelia's chest. It's working, she said. The mind link is hiding Lyra's gift. Ellis looked back at the three of them on the floor. Virixie mother, human lieutenant, and alien baby, all connected by touch and something more. Her expression changed from doubt to determination. Lieutenant Reed, full power to the engines, she ordered through the communicator. Get us to the jump point. And keep our weapons hot just in case. The Artemis surged forward, accelerating away from the Mordan fleet. On the floor, Olivia continued to hold Zelia's hand, her face now peaceful despite the occasional flicker of pain. Are you all right? Zelia asked her. Olivia nodded slightly. It's strange. I can feel everything. The ship, the stars, you. It's like seeing with new eyes. That is Lyra's gift, Zelia explained. She senses the energy that connects all things. Commander Ellis watched them from across the room. How long can you maintain this link? I don't know, Zelia admitted. This has never been done with a human before. The minutes stretched into an hour. The Artemis continued to speed away from the Morden fleet. Reports came in that the Mordens were spreading out, searching in all directions. They had lost track of their target. Olivia began to show signs of strain. Sweat beaded on her forehead. Her breathing became labored. But still she maintained the link, her hand gripping Zelia's tightly. You need to stop, Zelia said with concern. It's too much for you. Olivia shook her head. Not until we're safe. Not until we reach the jump point. Another hour passed. Lyra fell asleep between them, but the link remained. Olivia grew paler. Zelia could see that the human was suffering. Finally, the ship's communication system came alive again. Commander, we've reached the jump point. Earth space is just one jump away. Ellis moved to the communicator. Make the jump, Lieutenant. The ship hummed as its jump engines powered up. There was a strange sensation, like the whole universe twisting around them. Then everything went quiet. Jump successful, the voice reported. We're in Earth space. No sign of Morden ships. Relief washed over Zelia. They had escaped. For now, at least. You can let go now, she told Olivia gently. We're safe. Olivia opened her eyes slowly. They looked different somehow. Deeper, with flecks of purple that hadn't been there before. She released Zelia's hand and the connection broke. Immediately, Olivia collapsed to the floor. Ellis rushed forward. Get the doctor in here now! She shouted into the communicator. Zelia cradled Lyra in one arm and reached for Olivia with her free hand. Olivia, can you hear me? Olivia's eyes fluttered open. She looked disoriented. I can still feel her, she whispered. In my mind, like an echo. The doctor rushed in and began examining Olivia. He looked concerned as he checked her vital signs. Her brain activity is off the charts, he reported. Heart rate elevated, pupils dilated. What happened to her? She joined minds with my daughter, Zelia explained. To hide us from the Mordens. The doctor looked shocked. That shouldn't be possible. Yet she did it, Ellis said, and it saved all our lives. She looked at Zelia. Your daughter's gift is even more powerful than you said. Zelia nodded sadly. Now you see why the Mordens want her so badly. The doctor helped Olivia to a sitting position. She seemed stronger now, though still dazed. I saw so much, she said. The threads that connect everything, like a web made of light. That is the quantum field, Zelia said. Few can see it. Fewer still can touch it, as Lyra can. Ellis's communicator beeped. She answered it, listened for a moment, then her face grew serious. We're being hailed by Earth Command, she told them. Admiral Catherine Bradley wants to speak with all of us. Apparently our little adventures caught the attention of High Command. Zelia felt fear return. Would Earth's leaders help them? Or would they hand her and Lyra over to the Mordens to avoid a war? Can you walk? The doctor asked Olivia. She nodded and stood up slowly. I'm okay, just different. Earth Station 7 hung in space like a giant wheel, slowly turning. Through the viewport of the Artemis, Zelia watched as they approached the human station. It was huge, much bigger than any Virixi space station she had seen. It's home to over 10,000 people, Olivia explained, standing beside her. Scientists, military, families. It's like a small city in space. Zelia held Lyra close. The baby was awake and alert, her purple eyes taking in everything. Will they welcome us there? Zelia asked. Olivia didn't answer right away. In the 3 days since their escape from the Mordens, she had changed. The mind link with Lyra had left its mark. Olivia could now sense things others couldn't. Energy fields, emotions, the quantum threads Lyra could see. It wasn't as strong as Lyra's gift, but it was there. Some will welcome you, Olivia finally said. Others will be afraid. Your daughter's gift. It scares people. Power like that always does. Commander Ellis approached them. We're docking in 10 minutes. Admiral Bradley has arranged quarters for you in the secure section. For your protection, she added, seeing Zelia's expression. Will they keep us prisoners? Zelia asked. Not prisoners. Guests under protection, Ellis corrected. The Morden ambassador is demanding your return. The council is meeting to decide what to do. The Artemis docked smoothly with Earth Station 7. As they prepared to disembark, Ellis handed Olivia a small device. A personal shield generator, Ellis explained. For the child. Just in case. Olivia took it with a nod of thanks. She understood what Ellis wasn't saying. Not everyone on the station might want Lyra to remain free. They walked through the docking tube into the station. Humans in various uniforms stopped to stare as they passed. Most had never seen a Virixi before. Zelia held her head high, ignoring their looks. A group of humans in formal uniforms waited for them. An older woman with a serious face stepped forward. I'm Security Chief Diane Carson. Admiral Bradley asked me to escort you to your quarters. They followed Carson through the station. It was overwhelming for Zelia. So many humans, so many strange sights and sounds. Lyra seemed fascinated by it all, her eyes wide, taking everything in. Their quarters were large and comfortable, with separate bedrooms, a sitting area, and a food preparation space. But Zelia noticed right away that there were no windows and the door had a complex lock system. The Admiral will meet with you tomorrow, Carson told them. In the meantime, if you need anything, use the communication panel by the door. There will be guards outside at all times. After Carson left, Olivia explored the quarters. It's not bad, she said. Better than my own apartment on the station. But still a cage, Zelia said quietly. Olivia sat down beside her. I know it feels that way. But trust me, Admiral Bradley is fair. She'll listen to your story. That night, Zelia found it hard to sleep. The station sounds were strange, and worry for the future kept her awake. Lyra slept peacefully in a small bed the humans had provided, her tiny hands occasionally moving as if reaching for something in her dreams. Zelia wondered if Lyra was touching the quantum threads even in sleep. What would happen to her daughter if the humans decided to hand them over to the Mordens? Or what if the humans decided to use Lyra's gift themselves? Morning came, marked only by the changing of the lights in their quarters. Olivia arrived early wearing a fresh uniform. She looked nervous. The Admiral is ready to see us, she said. And there's news. The Morden fleet has entered Earth space. 3 destroyers heading this way. They're demanding that we turn you over. Fear gripped Zelia's heart. And will your people do that? I don't know, Olivia admitted. The council is divided. Some fear war with the Mordens. Others, she hesitated. Others want to study Lyra's gift. They see the potential for new technologies, new weapons. That is no better than what the Mordens want, Zelia said angrily. I know. That's why we need to convince Admiral Bradley to help us. She has influence with the council. They were escorted to a large meeting room. Admiral Bradley sat at a table with several other high-ranking humans. Security Chief Carson stood near the door, watching carefully. Zelia of the Virixi, Admiral Bradley said. Thank you for coming. We have much to discuss. Zelia sat down across from the Admiral, Lyra in her arms. Olivia took a seat beside her. I understand your daughter has a unique ability, Bradley said. Lieutenant Martinez has reported her experience with the mind link. Our scientists are intrigued. My daughter is not a science experiment, Zelia said firmly. She is a child. A child the Mordens would use to create terrible weapons. Bradley nodded. So you've said. And yet we only have your word for this. The Mordens claim you stole sensitive technology from them. They say your people are the aggressors in this conflict. That is a lie. Zelia's voice rose in anger. The Mordens have destroyed 5 Verixi worlds. Billions of my people are dead. We fought only to survive. The Admiral watched her carefully. I believe you. But many on the Council do not. They fear being drawn into your war. We are already in it, Olivia said suddenly. All eyes turned to her. When I linked with Lyra, I saw things. Memories, not just from her, but from Zelia, too. I saw what the Mordens did to the Verixi homeworld. It was genocide. One of the other humans at the table leaned forward. You claim to have accessed alien memories through this link? That's hard to believe, Lieutenant. It's true, Olivia insisted. And there's more. The link, it changed me. I can sense things now. Energy fields, emotions, the quantum threads Lyra sees. Murmurs ran through the room. Admiral Bradley looked troubled. You're saying the child's ability is contagious? Not exactly, Olivia said. But the link created a connection that remains. A shadow of her gift in my mind. Security Chief Carson moved closer, her hand on her weapon. The tension in the room rose. I'm not a threat, Olivia said, noticing the movement. Neither is Lyra, but her gift is real and it's powerful. If the Mordens get her, they could create weapons that affect the quantum field itself. Weapons that could tear space apart. Admiral Bradley was silent for a long moment. Then she said, The Morden fleet will reach this station in less than 6 hours. I need to make a decision before then. Just then, the door opened. A young human rushed in. Admiral, we're receiving a transmission. It's from the Verixi High Command. Everyone in the room looked shocked. The Verixi High Command had been in hiding for months, presumed destroyed by the Mordens. Put it through, Bradley ordered. A screen on the wall lit up. The face that appeared was Verixi. Blue skin, large purple eyes but older than Zelia, with markings of high rank. This is Fleet Commander Zor of the Verixi Defense Force, the Verixi said. I am sending this message to Earth authorities. We have received word that you have given sanctuary to Zelia and her gifted child. Zelia gasped. Zor lives! The Defense Force survives! Admiral Bradley stood. This is Admiral Catherine Bradley of Earth Command. Yes, Zelia and her daughter are here. The Mordens demand we turn them over. Zor's face showed anger. The Mordens seek the child for her quantum gift. They have slaughtered millions of our people trying to find her. She is the last of the gifted ones, the rest were hunted down and killed or captured. So it's true, Bradley said, about the gift. And the genocide. All true, Zor confirmed. And now I offer you this. The Verixi Defense Force will come to Earth's aid against the Mordens. We have ships hidden throughout this sector. Together, we can defeat the Morden fleet approaching your station. The humans in the room looked at each other in surprise. Bradley's face was thoughtful. An alliance? She asked. Between Earth and the Verixi? Yes, Zor said. To protect the gifted child and to stop the Morden genocide. Will Earth stand with us? All eyes turned to Admiral Bradley. She looked at Zelia and Lyra, then at Olivia. Finally, she turned back to the screen. How quickly can your ships reach us? She asked. They are already moving into position, Zor replied. But we need your answer. Will Earth fight alongside the Verixi? Bradley took a deep breath. I cannot make that decision alone. But I can recommend it to the Council. And in the meantime, she turned to Security Chief Carson. Prepare the station's defenses. And send word to the 4th Fleet. Tell them to move to our position immediately. Carson nodded and left the room quickly. Bradley looked back at Zor. We will not hand over Zelia and her child to the Mordens. That much I can promise. Relief washed over Zelia's face. Zor bowed his head in the Verixi gesture of respect. Thank you, Admiral. The Verixi remember their friends. And their enemies. The screen went dark. The room was silent for a moment. You realize what this means, one of the other humans said to Bradley. We're going to war with the Morden Empire. No, Bradley replied firmly. We're stopping a genocide. There's a difference, she turned to Zelia. Your people will fight alongside ours, but when this is over, we need to discuss your daughter's gift, not to use it as a weapon, but to understand it, to make sure it can never be used to harm others. Zelia nodded slowly. If you help us defeat the Mordens, I will trust you with knowledge of the gift. It was not always used for war, you know. Once, long ago, it was used to heal, to build, to explore the deepest parts of space. I'd like to learn about that, Bradley said. Then to everyone in the room. We have less than 6 hours to prepare for the Morden fleet. Let's get to work. Olivia wiped blood from her eyes and looked at Zelia. Fight? With what? This is a survey ship, not a warship. The Wanderer shook again as another blast from the Morden destroyer hit nearby. The ship's lights dimmed, then came back on. Can you send a message to your people? Zelia asked, holding baby Lyra close to her chest. The infant was awake now, making soft crying sounds. Olivia turned to the communication panel. I've been trying, but the Mordens are blocking signals. Wait, there's another ship entering the system. On the screen, a new dot appeared. It was moving fast toward their position. Is it Morden? Zelia asked, fear in her voice. Olivia shook her head. I don't think so. The signal pattern is, it's one of ours. It's an Earth ship. Relief washed over Olivia's face. But it didn't last long. She pressed buttons on the communication panel trying to make contact with the Earth ship. They can't hear us through the Morden jamming, Olivia said. And they don't know we're here in the rings. They might just pass by, Zelia thought quickly. What about the engines? Can we make them flare or explode to signal? That's actually a good idea, Olivia said. She moved to the engine controls. I can vent plasma from the engines. It will create a bright flash. They might see it. She worked the controls. Outside, a bright blue flash lit up the space around the Wanderer, as plasma vented from the engines. It was like a flare in the darkness. Now we wait, Olivia said. The minutes passed slowly. The Morden destroyer was getting closer, still firing into the rings, looking for them. The Wanderer's damaged engines couldn't move them deeper into the rocky field to hide. Then the communication panel beeped. A voice came through, breaking through the Morden jamming. Unidentified vessel, this is Commander Laura Ellis of the Earthship Artemis. We detected your plasma vent. Do you need assistance? Olivia grabbed the communicator. Commander Ellis! This is Lieutenant Olivia Martinez of the survey ship Wanderer. We are under attack by a Morden destroyer. Engines damaged. We have refugees on board. There was a pause. Then Ellis's voice came back. Lieutenant Martinez? You're far off your assigned patrol route. What are you doing in this sector? Olivia looked at Zelia and Lyra. She took a deep breath. Saving lives, Commander. I have a Virixie mother and infant on board. The Mordens are trying to capture them. Another pause, longer this time. Zelia could feel her heart beating fast. Would these other humans help them? Or would they hand them over to the Mordens to avoid conflict? Understood, Lieutenant, Ellis finally said. The Artemis is coming to your position. Hold on. The screen showed the Earthship changing course, moving directly toward them. It was much larger than the Wanderer, though still smaller than the Morden destroyer. What kind of ship is the Artemis? Zelia asked. A stealth frigate, Olivia replied. Not our biggest warship, but fast and hard to detect. And Commander Ellis is one of our best officers. The Morden destroyer was still searching the rings, firing its weapons, looking for the Wanderer. It hadn't detected the Artemis yet. Olivia turned to Zelia. I need to try to fix the engines. Can you watch the screens and tell me if anything changes? Zelia nodded. She sat in the pilot's chair, Lyra still in her arms. The baby had stopped crying and was looking around with large purple eyes, the same color as her mother's. Olivia opened a panel in the floor and climbed down into the engine compartment. Zelia could hear her working, the clang of tools against metal. On the screen, the Artemis was moving closer. It was now visible through the viewport. A sleek, dark ship moving silently through the rings toward their position. The Morden destroyer still hadn't seen it. Then something strange happened. The Morden ship suddenly changed direction. It was no longer firing randomly. It was moving directly toward the Wanderer's position. Olivia, Zelia called out. They found us! Olivia climbed quickly back into the control room. Her hands were black with engine grease. How? Their sensors shouldn't be able to. She stopped and looked at baby Lyra. Understanding crossed her face. It's her, isn't it? Olivia asked quietly. They can sense her somehow. Zelia nodded sadly. The gift works both ways. Lyra can sense energy fields, and those with similar gifts can sense her. The Mordens must have a sensor-gifted one on their ship. The Morden destroyer was coming straight for them now, weapons ready. The Artemis was still too far away to help. "We need to run," Olivia said. She went back to the engine controls. "I got one engine partially working. It might be enough to—" A massive blast hit the Wanderer directly. The ship spun violently. Zelia held Lyra tight to keep from dropping her. Alarms blared loudly. Smoke filled the control room. "Hull breach in the cargo section," Olivia shouted. Emergency seals activated. The Wanderer stabilized, but it was badly damaged. Through the viewport, Zelia could see the Morden destroyer looming close, its weapons pointed directly at them. "They could have destroyed us," Zelia said. "But they didn't. They want Lyra alive." The communication panel beeped again. A harsh voice spoke in the Morden language. The translator picked it up. "Virixi vessel, surrender the gifted child. You have 1 minute to comply, or we will board your ship and take it by force." Olivia looked at Zelia. "What do they mean, gifted child?" "They mean Lyra," Zelia said, her voice breaking. "They know what she is, what she can do. And what exactly can she do?" Olivia asked. "You said something about sensing energy fields." Zelia looked down at her daughter. "The gift is rare now. In the old days, many Virixi had it. They could sense the quantum threads that connect all things. Some could even move them, changing reality itself. The Mordens want to use this power to make weapons. And Lyra has this gift? Yes, I felt it the day she was born." She reached out with her mind and touched mine. "That is why we were running. Why I had to—" Zelia's voice broke. "Why I thought I had to let her go." The Morden voice came again. 30 seconds. Olivia moved to a storage locker and pulled out a small weapon. "I'm not letting them take either of you." Just then, the communication panel lit up with a new signal. Commander Ellis's voice came through. "Lieutenant Martinez, this is the Artemis. We see the Morden vessel. Hold position." Through the viewport, Zelia saw something amazing. The Earthship Artemis suddenly appeared from behind the Morden destroyer. It had used the rings for cover and circled around behind the enemy. Bright flashes erupted from the Artemis as it fired its weapons at the Morden ship. The destroyer, caught by surprise, took several direct hits to its engines. "Wanderer, prepare for emergency docking," Ellis said through the communicator. "We're coming alongside." The Artemis moved between the Wanderer and the damaged Morden destroyer. It extended docking clamps that locked onto the smaller survey ship. "We need to go now," Olivia said. She grabbed a bag and stuffed it with medical supplies. "Can you walk?" Zelia nodded. She stood holding Lyra securely. The baby was quiet now, watching everything with her large eyes. They moved to the airlock. As it opened, they could see the Artemis's docking tube connected to their ship. 2 humans in uniform waited on the other side. "Hurry," one of them called. "The Mordens are trying to get their weapons back online." Zelia and Olivia ran through the docking tube into the Artemis. As soon as they were inside, the tube detached from the Wanderer. The airlock closed behind them. "Get them to medical," said a woman with short gray hair and a commanding presence. Zelia guessed this was Commander Ellis. "And get us out of here, full speed." The Artemis shuddered as its engines powered up. Through a viewport, Zelia could see the Wanderer growing smaller as they left it behind. The Morden destroyer was turning, trying to follow, but its engines were damaged and it moved slowly. The 2 humans in uniform led Zelia and Olivia to a small medical room. A doctor was waiting there. He looked at Lyra with concern. "The baby first," Olivia said. She was in stasis for days. The doctor took Lyra gently from Zelia's arms. The separation made Zelia nervous, but she knew the human was trying to help. The doctor placed Lyra on a bed with monitors above it. Light scanned over the baby's body. "Remarkable," the doctor said. "Her physiology is similar to ours in some ways, but very different in others. Her brain activity is unusual. I've never seen patterns like this." Zelia moved closer. "Is she healthy? Will she live?" The doctor nodded. "She's stabilizing. Her body temperature is rising to what I assume is normal for your species. Heart rate is increasing. These are good signs." Relief washed over Zelia. After everything, the hunger, the despair, sending her baby away, being rescued, and now running from the Mordens, Lyra was going to be okay. Commander Ellis entered the medical room. She looked at Zelia with a mixture of curiosity and concern. "I need to know what's happening," Ellis said. "Why are the Mordens so interested in you and your child? And why did my lieutenant disobey direct orders to help you?" Olivia stepped forward. "Commander, I can explain." Ellis held up a hand. "Not now, Lieutenant. I want to hear from our guest first." Zelia looked at the commander. This human held their fate in her hands. She decided to tell the full truth. My name is Zelia. I am Virixi. My people have been at war with the Mordan Empire for many cycles. We are losing. They have destroyed most of our worlds.